Imagine your entire world just changing overnight. The bedroom you sleep in, the streets, all the faces you see every day, just suddenly wiped away and replaced by a foreign country.
And you have absolutely no idea why.
Exactly,
Mhm.
because, well, you're only 2.5 years old. Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a really deeply personal time capsule today.
Well, we're diving into excerpts from Guillaume Garot's memoir, Around the World for My Son.
Right. It's this incredibly raw look at international family separation. But what makes it uniquely devastating is how we see it happen through two completely different lenses.
It really is a jarring contrast. I mean, on one hand, you have the profound, enduring grief of a father,
Yeah.
and on the other, you have the innocent, almost disoriented confusion of a toddler who's caught up in international parental child abduction. It takes this, complex bureaucratic nightmare of international law and grounds it entirely in human heartbreak.
And to understand that heartbreak, we really have to start with the toddler, Maximilian. The text opens by establishing this absolute baseline of safety in San Francisco.
It's completely idyllic.
It really is. He's playing the piano with his mom, and he's reading the wheels on the bus with his dad, just totally obsessed with the swish, swish, swish of the wipers.
Uh-huh.
But then, the bottom just falls out.
The narrative shifts violently. We read about loud arguments, his mother crying, the police showing up at the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and suddenly there's a shared custody arrangement in place.
Okay.
But to a 2-year-old, custody is a meaningless word. All Maximilian knows is that his dad lives somewhere else now.
Though he still leaves yellow flowers in his new bedroom to make him feel safe, right?
Exactly.
Reading those passages, it struck me that from a 2-year-old's perspective, this trauma plays out almost like watching a movie on mute.
Oh, that's a really good way to put it.
Because, like, Maximilian sees the flashing police lights, the tense packing, the sudden international flights. But without the adult dialogue to explain the context, he just processes it as this weird, sudden adventure.
That's a haunting way to frame it, because from his muted perspective, being suddenly swept off to Kazakhstan with his mother is just a magical winter wonderland.
Right, he's experiencing snow for the first time.
Yeah, he attends a family wedding. He's even starting to learn the Russian alphabet. And for a while, there's a tether to his old life,
Yeah.
His dad calls him every single morning.
Until one day, those calls just inexplicably stop. I'm really struggling to understand how that even happens.
It's tough.
How can a parent just vanish across international borders with a child, cut off all contact, and the system just allows it? How does the legal mechanism of shared custody completely fail here?
Well, it's a geopolitical nightmare. When a child is taken across international borders, local custody orders often just lose their teeth. The borders essentially act as a shield. The left-behind parent is forced to navigate foreign courts, often in a totally different language,
While the abducting parent can simply move and hide the child.
which is exactly what happens here. Guillaume makes these agonizing trips all the way to Almaty, Kazakhstan, navigating court dates, only to find out the mother has hidden Maximilian.
Which makes Guillaume's letters to his son, spanning from May 2024 to August 2025, so devastating. Reading these, I expected them to be filled with anger or like big dramatic declarations about the legal battle.
Right, naturally.
But isn't it striking how Guillaume's letters eventually shift from recounting big events to agonizing over the mundane? Like he asks, did you sleep well? And what games did you play?
It really shows how abduction steals the everyday moments, not just the milestones. I mean, think about what is actually lost.
Yeah.
Yes, Guillaume keeps an exact toll, 531 days, or 17 months apart. He writes about the agony of eating Thai food in New York alone on Maximilian's third birthday,
That's heartbreaking.
or seeing vintage yellow cars in California and remembering that yellow is his son's favorite color. But the grand tragedy is the loss of Tuesday mornings, the breakfasts, the theft of the everyday routine.
And the consequences of that lost time are just brutal. There's a moment in November 2024 where, after 7 months of absolute silence, Guillaume finally gets a video call.
Yeah, that part is rough.
It is. Because Maximilian doesn't even recognize his own father on the screen. It's the ultimate manifestation of parental alienation.
Well, alienation isn't just physical distance, right? It's the systematic erasure of a parent from a child's mind.
Right.
When the physical presence is entirely stripped away by borders, the child's reality is completely rewritten by the parent they're with.
When you read a story like this, it really forces you to ask what's left of a relationship when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the true function of this memoir. Guillaume knows Maximilian won't remember his early years in San Francisco. So this book acts as a permanent time capsule.
It's an undeniable record proving that his father never abandoned him, that he fought tirelessly across continents.
It's a defense mechanism against that very alienation. He's meticulously documenting the struggle so that one day, when Maximilian is old enough to ask questions, the answers will be waiting for him.
Exactly. And, the story doesn't actually end there. For anyone wanting to dig deeper into the origins of all this, there is a new memoir releasing next month.
Oh, right, the new release.
Yes, it explores the parents' history in much more detail and really dives into the incredibly difficult decisions the father had to make before and during this whole ordeal.
That's going to add so much context to how things reach such a breaking point.
It really will, because the legal system might be slow, the borders might be closed, but the documentation of this entire history and that love remains completely intact.
It really captures the enduring, unbreakable nature of love. Which leaves us with this final thought for you to ponder. When physical connection is entirely severed by borders and legal battles, how does the act of simply writing a letter to an empty room become the ultimate form of hope and resistance?